Welcome everybody to the first ever 600 ESPN El Paso YouTube World Cup preview. That's right, this is exclusively for our YouTube subscribers, where we're going to take 3 of our best callers or fans on Twitter, as we like to say, have them all together in one panel and go through the World Cup, because since it's starting up this week and a lot of people are excited about that, we thought we'd give you a little flavor, local flavor from our panel. Great to have the 3 of you here. This would have been so much better if the U.S. was playing. And a lot of us are now having to feel, well, if the U.S. isn't part of the World Cup, we're not used to this, we've got to pick a team. We've got to pick some teams to root for, some teams to get excited about. Before we get to that part of the World Cup and who we like to really win this, let's talk about the U.S. We've said this is one of the worst times of U.S. soccer because they belong in the World Cup. They've always played in the World Cup, and for whatever reason, they're not here right now. Is it going to be weird to watch the next month of soccer competition from Russia, realizing that there is no Team USA?
Absolutely. It will be. We were so anxious to get in. We were playing very confidently. I'm sorry, the U.S. was playing very confidently.
You could say we. I mean, you live here. This is your team, and it's your
She's wearing an England shirt, though.
Yeah, well, they're not in there. It was hard. It was really, really hard. And choosing a team that's not the U.S. I mean, it's easy for me. Of course, I support England. It's a devastating blow to U.S. soccer. I don't know what's going to happen, especially if tomorrow the selection team, as we were talking, doesn't choose the United States bid. It's going to be a hard, rough 8 years.
Well, and now you wonder, since they built up so much with Jurgen Klinsmann for all those years, and then he's now gone, it seems like the U.S., it's going to be a long road back. You can't just take everything that they've tried to develop over the last decade and suddenly resurrect it overnight.
No, yes, they can't. I was reading all these articles regarding the American fiasco, and yeah, it basically comes down to poor leadership, the fact that Jurgen Klinsmann came in, sounded like a great leader at first, and it just sort of collapsed after him. Bruce Arena came in entirely too late, and now what? Now they've gotten rid of everybody, they've put the new players in. They had a great friendly against France, right? They have a great friendly. If I were supporting France, I'd be really scared right now. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot to look forward to, but I think it comes down to tomorrow as well.
Very important for the U.S. players to get out of the MLS. The MLS is not this, great league, and go to other places. Do a Christian Pulisic. Go to Germany. Go to England. Go to Spain. Go to these places where they can actually rub, with best of the best. Really go to where there's competition. MLS is still, it's 22 years old, and it's still not there yet as a competitive league. First of all, because it doesn't play in the traditional times where all the other leagues play at. So, I mean, granted, the U.S. does have a lot of talent. The U.S. has the biggest crop of, players anywhere because you have the college system. But they need to rub those shoulders with that best cream of the crop competition out there in order to get back to that stage.
Joe, what do you think?
I think that the U.S. not qualifying for this World Cup was the end result of decisions that have been taken by the administration, by the people that run U.S. soccer. All the way, you want to talk about a World Cup cycle that ends with the U.S. not qualifying, I'll take you back to the beginning where the president of the United States Soccer Federation decides to renew Jurgen Klinsmann's contract before the final exam ever took place, being the World Cup 4 years ago in Brazil. You asked me personally, I was not impressed in the least way, shape, or form with the way the U.S. did in that tournament. I remember still that call when they got eliminated to Belgium. I'm like, why are we applauding the goalkeeper's record-breaking saves? If the goalkeeper's making record-breaking saves, that means your soccer team's not very well, or not very good. So I think I look at it as the way this team, the people that run U.S. soccer, have a lot of the blame to go around. And unfortunately, now that a new president in Carlos Cordeiro has been selected for the federation, nothing's going to change. The people that put in Sunil Gulati, that were going for Christy Carter to go in as the president, are also behind Cordeiro. Dan Garber, the commissioner of the MLS, they're all together. And to me, nothing has changed. What's changed? They named Ernie Stewart a couple of days ago
That's
as
right.
general manager for the national team. For what? He has no say, no power into how the administration of the under 20 team, the under 17 team, the under 15 team are run. Then what's the point of having? So he can help the culture in U.S. soccer and provide moral support? They don't need that. At the end of the day, the people that are running U.S. soccer that are highly responsible for this most recent failure, they're still in charge of the team. And that's what the problem. Now, two things. You want two positives that the U.S., in my opinion, two positives from the U.S. not qualifying, or at least one. And I hope the second one comes. Number one, the media had to learn how to be critical of this U.S. team.
Yes.
Because people do not know. That is one thing that I have shouted from the high heavens. The media is not, they don't know how to be critical of this team. They don't know how to criticize this team. And they had to use the word failure that they have never used with
Well, they're
the
not
United
soccer
States.
savvy, most of the media.
And number two, going to that, the one thing I hope for is that fans learn how to be critical of this U.S. team. All around the world, a team doesn't do good. Even with the teams that win and that do good roles in the World Cup, on Monday morning, it's not about how they celebrated and how they did good. It's what they didn't do and how they could be better. It's that demand to always win.
I don't disagree with that, but you have to understand, soccer's not one of the big four.
Right.
And because it's not one of the big four, there aren't as many fans that are as sophisticated for soccer, U.S. national soccer, like they are for MLB, NBA, NFL, or even NHL. So it's difficult because soccer in this country is still an acquired taste for a lot of people, and as a result,
and a casual taste,
and maybe
right, well.
And that's why the fans aren't as rabid here as they are in countries where you live and die with soccer. In a lot of these nations, we don't live and die with soccer here in the U.S. Maybe we need to do more of that. Augustine said, "Get out of MLS, go to Europe." That could be a big factor.
I love that, and you know the aspirations too. It's what you aspire to be. Once again, the people that run the U.S. soccer team, it's MLS, it's Soccer United Marketing, one and the same. And what do they aspire to do? Their number one priority is to grow the game. I kind of hate to say it, but I'm tired of hearing that. Grow the game. No, let's make decisions, not that will grow the game, let's make decisions that will allow U.S. soccer to transcend. And as opposed for the MLS to be one of the world's largest leagues, Mexico doesn't aspire to be one of the world's largest leagues. None of the South American leagues aspire to be claim we want to be one of the biggest leagues in the world. How about the MLS say, you know what, we're the League of the Americas that exports the most talent out of any of the other leagues to Europe. Then and only then will you start seeing the United States
become the Argentina of North America.
Exactly. I mean, if you set that as a goal, you know what, here at the MLS, we made all of these players transfer.
Yeah.
Claudia, you agree with Joe?
To a certain extent, yeah, and you're right. We're not getting anywhere until the MLS decides that this is what they want to do. Problem is that MLS isn't formulated the way, say, the EPL is. There's no relegation. They don't care. They don't win X amount of games. No one's going to come up.
But don't tell that to the people that run the MLS.
Oh, yeah.
I know exactly.
That's the problem right there.
I mean,
You're stuck.
Yeah, no, completely agreed. And the thing is that in any sport overseas, there's, even for basketball or for other things, there's relegation, and you know the teams that come up to try to do better, and that's one of the things that is going to pull soccer down, at least here in the U.S.